It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. Today we're at the fabulous Wayfare on Ferret Street, which is a couple of blocks down from Napoleon Avenue, across from the European Wax Centre. Are you familiar with the European Wax Centre, you people? No. I will check it out. It's right by. You never heard of European?
No. I mean, I've heard of European waxing.
What is European waxing exactly?
Well, it's not candle making, I can tell you that.
We know that.
It's,
How does European waxing differ from American?
I think it's just trying to give it a label to make it more fancy.
Make it more sort of attractive sounding.
Yeah, since it's
Would you feel like you would prefer to be
off of your body? So I would think that they want to make it sound as nice as possible, right?
Would you prefer to be waxed in the European style?
I don't know what the style difference is.
I don't know either. Do you know Dustan?
Right?
This is Dr. Arwen Podesta, by the way, the voice of the European wax expert we're talking to. And Dustan Louque is here as well. Have you ever had anything waxed off of you?
No.
Have you ever considered it?
I think this is a challenge.
No, it sounds painful.
Oh, I know. And Genevieve Douglass is here as well. Hey, Genevieve.
Hi.
What's your waxing history?
Monthly.
Monthly?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
What date?
I have an appointment on Saturday.
Every...
Look at you.
Really? You get waxed?
Much more consistent
Even in winter?
than most people I know.
Even in wintertime.
And
it's winter in New Orleans, though.
Yeah.
What part of the body are we talking about? Just what you'd expect. Pubic area.
Yes.
And you have to get that done every month.
I do.
Does it grow back that fast?
For me, it does.
It does.
I have fast-growing hair.
You do? Mm-hmm. What would happen if you didn't get it done every month? Who would complain about that?
I don't know that anyone would vocally complain.
Right.
But
are you dating someone, or are you married, or what's
I'm
the deal on
married.
that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does your husband comment on that, or is it mostly just for your own
He
benefit?
does comment.
He does?
Yes.
Okay. Guys have preferences, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah,
Thomas is going to weigh in here on this subject.
For the
Let's hear
record,
it.
this is the most aggressive start to a program.
I was going to say. We jumped right in.
I'm going to chime in because I have goddaughters, and I am very much for waxing over shaving. It is a bad idea to teach your children to shave early, and I think that waxing really is a fantastic alternative. I think that's great. This is a very serious matter that we need to talk about.
But can you do waxing yourself? Shaving you can do yourself in the shower.
Right.
What can you do waxing
People
yourself?
can wax, yeah. I've
Do you
waxed
you don't do it yourself?
my own legs.
No,
you have.
I've waxed my own legs.
Your own legs.
It was not successful.
You did try.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the
Not successful.
what was the result though?
Just
in
not-
what sense?
Was it like a
It wasn't
mess?
even
Completely.
Well, I mean, we don't have to get into the details. It's just like the wax doesn't
sounds
get hot enough.
horrible.
It doesn't remove everything. It takes longer. I mean, it's just, you got to pay somebody.
Yeah. I did go to a non-European waxing place one time here in New Orleans, and I was very disappointed. I will not name the spa, but the waxer, as she was removing the hair very aggressively, she elbowed me in the eye and gave me a black eye. I got a black eye from waxing, so that's even more
that's
painful.
the best story of all time, perhaps. Isn't it? I got a black eye from waxing.
What?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's pretty funny. Did
Yeah.
they make it complimentary? Did they didn't still charge you for that?
They did not, and they didn't even offer me anything at all. I was very upset. And
They
this
made
was
you pay
before
full price.
Yeah, this
And
was
they
before
gave
the
you-
days of Yelp, and so I did not have the
Right.
opportunity to comment.
You had no way of getting back at them.
Yeah, I know.
That wouldn't happen today. Yelp has pretty much ruined everything for everybody.
Ruined
The
you
internet.
know, the internet.
Don't you think? I thought New Orleans was a lot better before Yelp came along as a city. Didn't you think? Hey, we had the city to ourselves.
Right.
And there were places where tourists went, and there were places where locals went.
Yeah.
And
there's
now
a lot more.
Yelp has destroyed that.
Yeah.
Well, the internet. People would have still found other,
Yeah, I
outlets
guess you can't blame Yelp
outside of
entirely, but I think Yelp is majorly responsible for that. Don't you think?
No, I'm not going to hate on Yelp, but
I
I'm
don't
not a
hate it,
commenter.
I'm just saying it's the way it is.
I don't review on Yelp in general.
I'm a TripAdvisor reviewer because I use TripAdvisor so frequently when I'm traveling to find
travel a lot.
underground places, right? Yes. I've just found this great Japanese restaurant that I'm going to in Phoenix when I'm there for a case that I'm working on. So, yeah.
What's the case you're working on?
I'm a legal expert on wrongful death case regarding addiction.
Wrongful death?
Wrongful, like whether someone should have been treated differently by the physician and by the
like a
caretaking.
malpractice?
It's not malpractice, it's a civil suit, but it's a wrongful death case. So I don't want to get into the details too much.
Oh, you
but
can totally get into it. It's fine.
No, not right now.
What is the definition of wrongful death as opposed to malpractice?
So malpractice, you are suing the insurance that is covering the doctor or the establishment. And a wrongful death, you're actually suing the individual.
The doctor?
Yeah.
So
it's not a malpractice.
Too.
I am a physician.
So you're like a physician who's an expert witness against another physician? No.
On this case, well, I mean, I choose based on like whether I can be an asset to the side that's trying to hire me. So I'm a forensic psychiatrist, and that's one of the specialties that I have. And so that I trained like in criminal and civil courts here in New Orleans.
Has anyone ever heard of forensic psychiatry?
It's like a TV show.
Dustin?
Mm-hmm.
Move in here.
No.
Never heard of it?
No.
Well, now you have.
I've never heard of it either. Have you, Genevieve?
CSI.
You have?
There's types of forensic.
It's on TV.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like a TV doctor. So you don't play one on TV. You're a real forensic.
I'm a real forensic psychiatrist.
So what is forensic psychiatry, though?
So forensic psychiatry is essentially commenting on anything related to someone that has a legal situation, whether it's criminal or civil, and has a psychiatric situation. So a good example is figuring out if a trauma caused someone's post-traumatic stress that made them ineligible to work again. For example, one of the high-profile cases, the guys on the BP rig that saw their friends and coworkers die, did that cause or exacerbate, and how much did it contribute to them not being able to work, or what sort of compensation financially should they receive? So a forensic psychiatrist would get involved. Did Tom Benson have the capacity to pass along his businesses when he had some...
Did you weigh in on that one?
I did not. I was asked by... I didn't feel comfortable weighing in on it. I had never met him, and I don't like commenting on the hypotheticals that I don't get to read the cases. It also goes against the American Psychiatric Association.
But you're an actual you're a doctor. You're an MD.
I'm an actual psychiatrist.
Doctor,
yeah.
And then you're a real psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And then you're a forensic psychiatrist as well.
Yeah. And addiction psychiatry and holistic and integrative medicine. So I
should
do
we
all
talk
of that
about
stuff.
psychiatry for a minute?
I don't know. What do you think?
I was interested.
Well, Genevieve was curious if I was going to be analyzing everybody here.
I'm curious about that too, because psychiatry used to be psychoanalysis, and you would think that someone is analyzing you, and then it seemed to shift away from that, and that's now sort of psychology.
Right.
And psychiatry seems to be mostly about drugs. Is that true, or is that just a misperception?
It's about medication, and it's about being able to stabilize the chemistry through all the means that we have, from therapy to lifestyle changes to exercise, stress reduction, and medication. Psychologists are much more well trained in the therapeutic arts and also in psychological testing.
So do you do therapy? Would I come to you if I'm depressed?
No. Yes, you would. If you wanted to come
I'm
to me...
asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Yeah. If you wanted to come to me in my private practice, it would be because you had some sort of thing where you wanted to have some chemistry enhancement, like you wanted to feel better.
Wanted to
feel great.
Guys?
Doesn't everyone want to feel great?
Yes.
Yeah. So my private practice, Podesta Wellness, is we do like cognitive wellness and enhancement. I have psychotherapists there. I've got 2 wonderful psychotherapists there.
So I would still come to you if
I've got another
felt
doctor.
like I wanted talk therapy.
Adolescent. I don't do the talk therapy.
So you don't mess with that at all?
No. I do supportive therapy, medications, nutrition, recommendations for lifestyle changes.
Do you think you needed to become a psychiatrist to do that? There wouldn't be a different specialty that would be like brain chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, at psychiatry, neurology, those are the 2 subspecialties in medicine that are, in fact, working in the brain. Those are the 2. Yeah.
Have you ever been on antidepressants, Dustin?
No.
You ever thought about it?
No, I have a great therapist, though.
You do? So you go to actual talk therapy?
Yes, which is so valuable. Yeah.
I'm about 2 years into it, and it's amazing.
What made you
I've already
start
moved on from trivial stuff that happens as a kid.
Right.
Now I'm moving on to I'm curious about ancestral anger.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm curious about stuff.
Well, you're
that's been
blaming your
passed down.
anger on people in past generations.
Yeah, it's a cool research,
Yeah.
So I've been putting in the work, so I don't really need the drugs.
So you're doing that on yourself, this just investigation of ancestral.
Well, being on a major label kind of led me to looking at myself and mental health.
Yeah, so you got signed by Atlantic way back in the day there. How long ago was that?
04, something like that.
That was before the record industry actually.
It was right as it was changing.
Yeah.
I was of the generation making records at home in your apartment.
Right.
When you could do it on a computer.
So you moved from here to New York to do that.
Yeah.
Did you move to be a musician?
No.
Or you just
moved?
What made you get out of it?
I went to Stella Adler Conservatory of Acting. It's a 2-year program tied in with NYU. Didn't really want to be an actor.
That's a big deal in itself, actually.
I was getting parts. I was living here in New Orleans when you were on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I knew this guy.
What?
I didn't know him. He was like on the radio.
That's awesome.
Just the voice on the radio.
He was bringing really great music to New Orleans, new wave music, back in the day when New Orleans was just kind of funky. It's still, we're kind of cleaned up now, but New Orleans.
Station was it?
The Zephyr.
106.1.
106.1, the Zephyr.
Really great.
Yeah.
It was a great station.
So, I lived in a country, little small town at the time, and you were piping in this music from Depeche Mode to Echo and the Bunnymen, whatever.
Yeah, that must have been pretty cool. So you grew up in St James Parish?
St James Parish, yeah.
In what town?
Grand Point. It's a tiny Perique tobacco town. It's all we're known for is Perique tobacco.
Wow.
After the 27 flood, this little point farm is called Grand Point.
That is a pretty small
farmers.
How many people were living in there when you were a kid?
Jeez, when I was a kid, maybe in the back of Grand Point, 500 maybe.
500 people.
It was small. So your radio show was important.
That was amazing. So that was like beaming in, like from
unbelievable, a whole world.
But what's even more amazing is that you got out of there and you went to the Stella Adler School of Acting.
Yeah, you take baby steps, right? We all do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Little baby steps.
That's a big step.
Yeah, after college, I came to New Orleans, and I always wanted to live in New Orleans. I grew up 50 miles maybe away from here, and I always came here for culture and to try to push myself to learn some stuff. And so I was here after college, and I fell into acting, commercials, and stuff like that. And
it's funny when people say things like that. How do you fall into it?
Man. I was doing some modeling, I think, maybe, or something like that.
You're talking
and then
modeling.
And then they were like,
Did you wax? Did you wax?
He said he didn't.
No.
How do you just become a model? I mean, no one's asked me to model anything, strangely enough.
It's just local. You know what I mean? It's easy to do anything in this town.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's true. If you want to do it. What made you want to be a model, though?
I was asked to do it, and it became commercials.
Okay.
So, but I wasn't really an actor, and I loved music, but I wasn't a musician at the time. Nobody was where I'm from. Yeah. So I had all these things working against me.
There weren't Cajun musicians in
No,
Grand Point?
It's not like that, man. We were so into being... Fats Domino was a big guy there, We're more into New Orleans, and I live in Lafayette now. We have more Cajun stuff there, Zydeco.
Right.
But no, I didn't grow up with that at all. But anyway, acting school. I faked my way. My greatest performance was the audition. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, I just went there and did it. They liked me. And,
did you enjoy acting?
Not really. I mean, I did, but I never really wanted to be an actor,
Because being a singer-songwriter is the opposite almost. I mean, you're bearing your own soul every night, whereas acting, you're someone else.
I'll tell you what was cool is like Chekhov, like being in a small black box and hearing those plays and all the topics. I love that part of it, But as far as being on stage and in the spotlight, not really. And that's my problem now as a musician.
You don't like being in the spotlight?
I don't really need it,
Dr. Podesta, what do you have to say about
that? Well, I actually saw him play, what was that, like a year ago?
It
was Christmas last year, And so I saw him play and met him with some friends at a really nice, it was like a really cozy, nice, like intimate artist studio, and it was beautiful. And you said exactly that, and it struck me that you were like this really excellent performer, and you didn't enjoy it. Like you didn't enjoy that you didn't enjoy the limelight. And a lot of people, I think that's a common. It's a common creative issue. My husband's an artist, and he would really love to never talk about his work or present himself. And same with a lot of our artist friends and musician friends. And I think that's common because the creative soul has a lot of really amazing qualities, but being your own promoter is not one of them for the most part.
That's a different thing. One of the things, if you're like your husband is a painter,
a sculptor.
He's sculptor.
The bunnies on the...
Oh, he does the... He's the guy who does the bunnies.
On O.C. Haley.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's
Alex
cool.
Podesta, yeah.
Okay. But he's working by himself in a room.
Right.
And when the work is finished, you put it out, in his case, on the parapet of a building.
Right.
But in your case, you have to get up and do it in front of people. You have to watch you do that every night.
Yeah.
Or, even worse, say, around a very small table in a bar in the middle of the afternoon, like now.
That's not that
That's
hard.
not worse?
Nah, not really.
Didn't Jeff Tweedy from Wilco have a similar...
Yeah.
Have you
I play
studied?
with Nels. You know Nels Klein of that band,
Mm-hmm.
the guitarist. I play with Nels, or Nels plays with me sometimes.
Yeah.
From Wilco?
Yeah, but I don't know Tweedy, though. He's the only one I didn't meet. But yeah, he was like that.
Yeah.
I've
So you
heard-
should
Sure.
Yeah, many people, and I've got to put this out there. A lot of people that are in the creative fields, they also end up with they really they get an amazing high from performing themselves, but perhaps not the audience, but for themselves to be able to perform. But then oftentimes they struggle with like social anxiety, not you per se, but just a lot of people in the creative field. And I work with a lot of people in my addiction practice that are creative types, particularly musicians and artists, because that is something that is, overachievers, overly creative genius also has the mind and perhaps some of the genetics or ancestral backgrounds that can lead one to struggle with addiction more than most, It's a weird overlap.
Wish we had that excuse, right, Genevieve? Stop doing a lot of
do it.
Hey, listen, Dustin, you want to play something? Then
I could.
Yeah, come on, grab your
Yes.
guitar.
You're fantastic.
And then we're going to come back and talk about what you're up to, Genevieve.
Yeah.
What's on these pieces of
I
paper?
wanna notes. I'm a preparation person.
Okay. Have you got stuff prepared to talk about today?
I mean,
Yes
nothing
or-
specific, but if we get
Oh,
to
nothing
me,
specific.
Well, I mean,
Me
I
neither.
can be specific.
I thought maybe you did.
But-
Okay, Dustin, what are you thinking of playing here?
Test one. I'll just play a little original. It's kind of like I'm always trying to define the sound of my area where I come from. There was never any musicians that wrote music before I came up. So
You're it. You're the first musician to ever come from
to
Grand
write
Point.
to write music and record, and
Right.
do
You're the first one.
to my knowledge. I don't really we have this great bonfire
Just
tradition
crazy.
over there. Do you know the bonfires on the river?
Yes.
I
Christmas.
just started writing one song a year for it because the Christmas music is about snow and mountains, and they have this
Right.
beautiful tradition. So, yeah. So
This is
nobody's
almost
ever
like
done it.
a
I'm like, what the hell, man?
This is almost like a sort of a story in itself, like a movie or something. Like no one ever. You come from a town where there's no music. It's like a fairy tale.
Well, there's a lot of factories, and there was a lot of farms, and people work hard, like really hard, and it was just never taken serious. The arts weren't taken serious.
But isn't that a great little story, like a fairy tale, like a Christmas story in itself?
Yeah.
Dustin came from a town where there was no music.
But
Yeah.
so many cultural habits, so many really interesting, like the bonfires.
Yeah,
Yes.
So what made you pick up a guitar? Was it the Smiths or...
probably.
So
The
all goes
Cure?
back to
Dude,
Grant.
I got so many songs I wish I could play for you, like one of the like a Smith song. Or,
You can play anything you want. You can play more than one or two
Yeah,
songs today
okay.
if you want.
But anyway, yeah, Smiths. I don't know. The guitar all the time. It was piano first in college, and of course it was classical because that's how they taught you piano, and I fell in love
Oh,
with
you learned
classical.
classical piano?
But I originally bought a Depeche Mode sheet music book, and that's why I
what
went to my
started
teacher.
it.
I was like, I want to play the piano. But then I fell in love with Chopin, and then on the side, guitar, because it's portable and. to
Well,
move
thank
around.
God you got
So-
out of Grand Point.
Yeah.
You would be a total drug addict right now if you
Probably
were stuck
so.
there.
I know,
Yeah,
it's
I'd
pretty
have a hard
massive.
time.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. Do you still have family there?
Yeah. No, it's a great place, but not for somebody with an imagination and, You know how it is with education, and you learn, have life experiences. It's hard to go back to.
Do you go back? You still go back and visit?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
my people are there. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, here's a song. What is it?
So this is called "Don't Let It Die," and it's a culture. I feel like the Cajuns we're one of the last of the indigenous kind of folks, you know, like we have one foot still in the land. The country is adrift. And it's a song about culture and trying to raise an awareness about culture in St James Parish, because we don't even think about it. We don't even know we're special. So.
They say that I was never gonna love, forever gonna drift on the run. No one ever loves you like a sister upon the rock. Born in love and born in the sun. On this sea river, she says stop, hold on to love for a while, let it linger, don't let it die, don't let it die. Haven't felt a love like this in a while, since grandmother's arms. No one's ever gonna love you, child, like the ones that have left and gone. Born in love, set in the sun. On this sea river, she says stop, hold on to love for a while, let it linger, don't let it die, don't let it die. I won't let it die. The flowers in blue, I won't let it die. These flowers in blue, listen to the river song, listen to the river song. Don't let it die. Don't let it die. Don't let it die. Don't let it die. Listen to the river song.
Wow. What did you think, Genevieve?
Oh, my goodness. What a talent.
Arwen, what did you think of that?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's beguiling, isn't it? It's like it's enchanting.
It
You
is.
just sort of drift away into that. I could have just let you keep on playing that for another hour.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah,
for
mesmerizing is a good word for it.
Like you get
Very
into a
nice.
trance.
So where would we
What a
steal
talent.
that from, Dustin, if we were going to steal that off the internet somewhere?
Well, if you want to steal, you can go to Spotify,
Right.
or you can go to my website.
And actually,
You can buy it
You can
from
buy
me if
it.
you wanted to.
That's a novel
If you
idea.
want to download it and
Right.
support an artist.
You can
buy it.
actually buy it somewhere off your website, which
Yeah,
is
you could.
DustanLouque.com, which is spelled
It's actually
D-U-S-T-A-N.
Luke, L-O-U-Q-E, Luke. Yeah, it's just like L-U-K.
So you pronounce it Luke?
Yeah.
L-O-U-Q-U-E. Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's French.
Yeah.
Like Genevieve?
Genevieve.
How do you say it?
Genevieve.
And are you from a French family originally?
I'm not. No, I really wish I had a great story about my name. I don't at all.
Your parents just picked Genevieve out of a
book.
Out of a book.
Yeah, I really should make up a story. I've been saying that for years.
You could.
Let's do it now.
Well,
we could do it now. Yeah.
Dustin, totally.
Nowadays, you can say whatever you want.
I know.
And make it up.
And
people believe everything.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't know.
It doesn't matter.
How would they know?
It started off with you were born in a town where there was no music.
No, I was born here in New Orleans.
That's not going to work at all.
Yeah, lots of music. But I was born, my parents aren't from here. I was born and raised here, but my family is not.
Where'd they move from?
So they're both military brats that were from all around the country, but mostly like the New England states.
Oh, that says something about them, that they would move to New Orleans.
Yeah,
for sure.
My dad came here. My grandfather was an admiral in the Navy, and he was stationed here.
An admiral?
When my dad was like 17. Mm-hmm. And so that was his first introduction into New Orleans, and they lived on the West Bank. And so he decided to go to UNO and get his grades up so he could transfer back to Maryland because he couldn't get in. And then but he had fallen in love with New Orleans, so he wanted to come back, so he came for Tulane Law and brought my mom down for Tulane Law, and then I was born here right after he graduated and took the bar. I was born and raised here, but my family is not.
Has he been a lawyer in New Orleans all these years?
Yeah, so he fell in love with it. He's stuck here.
You must have heard of him, I bet.
James Guest, I don't know, Guest Law Firm in Kenner, Louisiana, right by the airport and the Esplanade Mall.
Is that right?
Yeah, nice plug for Dad's firm.
Did you grow up in Kenner as well?
Shout out
No,
for Dad.
I grew up part uptown and part Metairie.
Which part?
Exactly. When I was first born, we lived on Upper Line right by F&M and Grits.
Good spot.
Which was really, which is now like an amazing hip area. It has like the coolest coffee shop in town. It has a dog
that
park.
wasn't such a great part of town back
It was
in those
not,
days,
no. And I played in the park, like right across the street with like all the drug deals. Cherry is now, but my whole life that was an abandoned fire station.
Yeah, right.
So for me, it's amazing to see it revitalized, even though it's not,
That's
like
a really
weird
part of town to have lived in back then, actually.
Yeah. And my dad like dug a pool with his hands, literally in the backyard.
Wow.
So he owned 2 like doubles and like rented out the other sides. So that was, and then we moved to Metairie when he had his practice in Kenner, and then I moved back uptown in high school.
So you moved. And
then I'm still uptown.
Your parents moved back in town.
Right.
Uptown in high school.
Yeah, we.
Right. Okay.
Parents.
And you're still uptown.
Yes.
And
I moved away and then moved back in 2010.
I know where I know you from, actually, although I don't really know you, but you had a place on Magazine Street, a store.
Yes.
That's how this whole thing happened now, called Kindred.
And
Kindred Zucca Baby.
And Zucca Baby was in the front. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They were the retail part in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, and now they're only in their shop in Metairie off of Severn.
And what was this, like a health club for kids?
Yeah, it was. I called it a lifestyle studio for parents and babies, but it basically was fitness and wellness for parents and babies. We had fitness classes like yoga, spin, ballet, and bar classes, and like we had a little playroom for kids, story time for kids, and like wellness support for like breastfeeding and postpartum moms.
That's
and
amazing.
The shopping in the front.
That's so
it was
good.
really awesome.
Wow.
It was like beautiful and modern.
Yeah.
And, like,
did that? Is it not there anymore?
It's not there anymore.
Did someone take it over? Because that's the best concept.
Thank you. Yeah. I would love to license it in different markets.
Yeah.
This market I don't think is robust enough to support it.
I can see that.
So that was a problem.
What was missing? Not enough women with kids, or women
I mean, there were a lot of
fit?
factors for sure. But I mean, it's just a smaller market with like less people that with just like discretionary income to spend on that kind of thing,
and so not working full time and being able to come in and
we were trying to cater to all different types of
for times,
but I mean,
what do you make?
It's
too expensive for people, or because people spend a lot of money uptown on all sorts of crap, like
I know that's what I was thinking.
Yoga
Right.
So I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, it was very niche. I mean, it had to be a very specific demographic.
Don't worry about Asher. You okay?
Don't worry, man.
Did you just almost pass out?
The drinks did not spill.
I know that was.
Are you
amazing.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Did you almost pass out?
Yes, I did.
Do you want to? Do you want to hand that to me?
Luckily, Arwen is a doctor.
Deep breath.
I've done the same thing. I collapsed on the street jogging in the same way.
No.
I ended up in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
So you might have the same thing.
Well, now my blood pressure's back up.
You okay?
So
Oh my God. Asher, that didn't look too good.
Well, maybe you can switch out with somebody and take a seat.
Do you want to take a break for a minute?
Yeah, let's have you switch out.
Yeah. Wow, that could have been very dramatic. dramatic.
Very scary.
Maybe it was talking about Zucker Baby and
Oh,
Kindred.
yeah, the children.
Yeah,
he was like, oh, God, no, I don't want to be a parent.
Yeah.
And he,
He's freaking out about
I was about to pass out.
Yeah.
So no, it really, my background's PR and marketing, and
Right.
I had my own practice for a while, and so it was just really like my entrepreneurial
Right.
spirit that I had
Was
my
it-
first
seemed like a
child,
pretty
and
good
I was
idea.
like, oh my gosh, we should have this. I
Everyone
want to
should
do
have this,
this.
yeah.
It's a great idea. Well, now
Yeah.
that
So I was
building is the
driven.
stupidest idea of all time. But
Oh,
it
the
seems to
blow
be-
dry bar?
Yeah, you can go and get your hair blow dried.
Oh, I go. I'm a client.
Do you
but
do
look
that?
at my hair.
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy.
So what is the fucking story with that?
Oh my
What
gosh,
is it
I'm
called?
the owner.
You know,
Wait,
just-
So it's, I think
wait.
it's awesome.
What is it?
Oh,
See,
it's-
he would know, bald Dustin over here.
Okay.
Wouldn't,
men would
wouldn't
not
have
Explain,
a...
really
explain
need
the
to know.
concept behind this business to me.
You have a good head of hair. You should try it out.
I would like to know what the point of it is, though.
Well, you go and you get your hair washed and dried and styled.
That's
so for
it.
me, it takes
They
me
wash-
like a good hour and a half to wash and dry and style my hair on my own.
Oh, I could teach you to
and
how to do that in
I
5
don't do
minutes.
it very well, and so to have somebody else
Takes you
do
an
it
hour
for
and a
special
half.
occasions
Come on, it takes you 90 minutes to wash your hair and blow dry. Wow.
and dry it and style it. Yes,
And style it.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with the concept. What do you mean style it?
like
With a
like
brush
curl it,
and-
like with a
okay.
curling iron.
So that's what they do over there at this
straighten
blow
it.
dry. And the funny
Yes.
thing about this joint, have you ever looked at this?
I've known
You've
people
done
that
this?
have owned them in other
Okay.
markets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Have they been successful?
They have. Very
Yeah.
successful. And because there's a market for it, especially like in Los Angeles where
Right.
people need to be on air and like you're trying to, you're trying to like get ready and you need someone else to help you do that so you can do 3 things at once, which
Well, I
is...
would have thought your concept was way better than that.
I agree.
thank you.
I
frankly.
totally agree with that.
And not only that, but there's 2 of these stupid places within about 3 blocks of each
Going
other now.
stupid. No, they're not the
There's
same
a-
owner. She
no, but
has
it's
one
the
in
same
Old Metairie
concept.
and then one on Magazine Street.
There's 2 of these things on Magazine Street, one in that block where yours was, and then about 3 blocks away past Jefferson Avenue.
Yeah, but that's a
there's
different
another
brand.
one.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, though.
And that's a national brand. So hers is actually local, so it's like
Okay.
a local woman-owned business. So
Well,
I like
okay, so we
supporting
should
her.
support- what is it called?
You should support it.
Blue, a blow dry bar.
Is it
on Magazine Street.
BLEW?
A 520, wait,
BLEU.
5228 magazine. I'll
BLEU,
give her a
blue.
plug too.
Okay.
So
very
it's a
good.
sort of a
Yeah.
French pun, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Bleu.
Bleu.
Yeah.
Bleu.
And how much does it
but I don't
cost?
think they pronounce
How much does it
that
cost to
way.
get your hair blown
It
out?
was $35.
Bleu
It recently
now.
went up to $40.
It's $40
because
bucks.
costs of
And how much did
expenses
it
have
cost to
gone
take
up.
your kid to Kindred?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you. Finally, I knew. Eventually have one.
I think it was about $21 for a drop-in.
That was it.
But if you had a membership, it would be cheaper per class.
Okay, this is fucked up as hell.
I know.
You can't keep a business going when you get your kid looked after for $21, but you
And
can
you
have
get
a
to work
roaring
out.
business
You
when
get
you
to
get
work
your hair blow dried for $40.
Yeah.
Okay, that is screwed up, isn't it? Really?
I'm with you. I know
Well,
that
it caters to lots more people.
Okay, you're a business person.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Well,
so
mine
can
was
you
very
explain
niche.
that?
Like hers, like she does teens, she does moms, she does older people. Like it's like it runs the gamut of females. So and they do
Okay.
parties and that kind of thing. So I mean, I believe in her business. I want her to open up one at the airport. I think we need one at every airport
The
in this
blow
country.
dry.
So I
Fine.
would just go really early for my flight and get my hair done, and then go.
Or on a layover.
Yeah.
You get a blow.
Right.
a
Because you're going
blowout when
somewhere,
you're on a
like
layover.
vacation or
Yeah,
some fantastic
that's really good.
thing, and you need to look good.
I've gotten
please, someone open one at
manicures
the
or
airport.
pedicures at the airport when I've gotten stuck at a layover or something, and it's the only time I have to do that sort of stuff. So
You don't
yeah.
schedule time to go get a
I
manicure?
don't have a monthly waxing.
Let's have a look at your
unfortunately.
nails.
My nails are fine. I do them myself.
They look
I-
totally fine.
They're totally fine.
Who
Yeah.
does your nails,
Mine are
Jenny?
chipping, don't look. I
keep
go
them under the table, I
I go
see.
to Painted Nail
Painted.
Salon, which is
Okay,
also
so you have it
local
all
and
figured
female
out. You got a
owned.
blow dry place, a nail salon.
Oh, I do. I have
Waxing
I'm all about
every
the
month.
maintenance.
Yeah, okay.
And I guess I'm high maintenance. I guess I don't know.
All about the maintenance. Just maintenance.
Just maintenance.
Well, it's
maintenance forward.
self-maintenance, though,
And
so
then I
it's
go to
not the same.
Amy's too on Jefferson. and
Amy's.
Tops,
Okay, we need
which
to
is
start
like the little
charging
Korean
people for these.
one.
But
Nice.
you're paying for your own maintenance.
Yes.
I mean, this is all on
Yes,
your
I have to
time and
fund
your
it.
dime. So you're on,
Yeah. I know it's hard. I have to like squeeze it in, squeeze out the dollars. It's a lot to manage.
So what do you do? So you work at this company called Trepwise.
Yes,
Well,
but
we
I'm a
had
project manager.
Blake was on here from Trepwise.
Yeah, Blake is
a while
our
ago.
director of growth.
He
He's
was
amazing.
super cool guy.
Yeah, he's
Turned
really
out
great.
that his cousin went to the prom with Obama's daughter.
Right.
That's one of the best stories we've ever heard.
I know. He's super
Can you,
Ivy League.
Can you match that one?
Oh, I cannot.
That's pretty hard to top that story.
I
So
can't
what
match
do you
that
do over
story.
there at Trepwise?
Yeah, I'm their marketing director, and I've been there for a little over 6 months. Really fun story. I was actually a client prior to working for them with Kindred Studios, with my studio. So they are a consulting firm that caters to...
So they're responsible for it going under?
No. So yeah, I know.
Why couldn't they keep it alive if they're supposed to be consulting?
That was not them. That was a lack of capital. That was definitely not them.
Oh, okay.
They were helping us work together on a partnership arrangements with Zuka Baby. So that was kind of separate and apart from how we were actually making revenue, or lack thereof. So no, they're an amazing entrepreneurial consulting firm that works with for-profit, nonprofit, public sector organizations to help them sustain and grow. So
it's very interesting, isn't it, how that now it used to be like you started a business. I don't know how anyone ever started a business, but then one day it became Walmart or Apple or Microsoft.
I know, because they had amazing teams.
But none of those
capital.
people had entrepreneurial advice or incubators or...
Yeah, we're going to do Propeller, like what we have here,
and
things like that. Yeah.
Well, you were in Propeller.
I was. That's right.
You were. You're a
amazing.
psychiatrist. Why would a psychiatrist want to go to
a
business school?
So I was in the second year of Propeller, and when it was called SENO, Social Entrepreneurship New Orleans, and it was basically trying to provide more services for people who weren't able to access those services, and trying to create a new service model of psychiatry, holistic and integrative medicine, and functional medicine.
This is your idea.
Yeah.
This is your business.
That's right. And so it's basically like a triad of types of care that includes a lot more than just... most psychiatrists tend to just provide psychiatric care. There's a handful of people here in New Orleans that provide psychiatrists plus a therapist in their office. But for the most part, it's a siloed profession. And but so many people need it, and so many people need advice and therapeutic assistance and cognitive enhancement and all of the things. And but you need the whole team to do it. So I was providing a team approach, and so we basically, Propeller helped me put together a business model and a business plan, and be able to, and also since I specialize in addiction too, that's an underserved and stigmatized population, and so I was trying to move forward, which we have very well, to change the model.
So this has worked. So now you have this clinic.
So now I have a clinic similar. It's a little bit different because unfortunately our primary care nurse practitioner didn't end up coming with us, and so she was with me with the model. So now I kind of outsource and work collaboratively with primary care doctors of my choice.
So this sounds like a great idea, that you could go to a doctor's clinic and be able to get
all the stuff,
other things.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than have to figure it all out for yourself.
Right, and that's what happens. And so oftentimes, especially with psychiatry, you just go to, you go to the psychiatrist's office. You don't go to your functional medicine or your primary care doctor and then get referred to a psychiatrist. There's a handful, actually. I'm really proud of St. Thomas Clinic that has psychiatry and primary care, and it's offered for Medicaid patients, and so they have a whole set, but they don't offer the therapeutic interventions that I'm talking about at the moment. They're looking at it, and Odyssey House Clinic, specifically related to Odyssey House, the addiction, and I was medical director there for 10 years, and so they offer a lot of the integrative strategies, but not all of them. I'm also medical director at an intensive outpatient addiction program, and we offer all of that.
Why you don't have time to get your nails done.
I don't have time to get my nails done. Yeah.
That's a lot. You've got a lot going on.
Yeah, so I get my nails done in the airport.
But this is a great idea. But you don't have a primary care physician, so I can't start going to you by going to a primary care physician. I still have to be referred to you.
No,
figure it out myself.
Exactly, and that is the downfall.
You do acupuncture there as well?
We have 2 acupuncturists that are in the same building. We're business partners, but they're not employees, or we're partners.
But they're integrated, as it were, into your practice, so I can go from the...
Right. We've got massage, nutrition, psychotherapy, psychiatry, and acupuncture in the building. And then...
Where is all this?
This is all in Mid-City, 252-0026. It's a great little...
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you started out as a massage therapist, is that right?
I did. That was my pre-medical school life. Yeah. So I did massage therapy. My father's actually a massage therapist and trained in the early days, in the 60s.
You come from a massage therapy family.
Yeah.
How about that? I've never heard that sentence.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
He was just here. He came to hot yoga with me the other day, and
is he still a massage therapist?
He does. He does trigger work he's in Virginia.
Where's in Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
So he's a lifetime massage therapist.
Yeah.
And you went into the same business.
I
into your
did.
dad's business.
It's a healing
But isn't
art.
it going from that's as physical as it gets, touching people,
Right.
and then
totally
you moved completely into psychiatry, which is
I had a
opposite.
little blip where when I was a massage therapist, I was working full time and really enjoying it. Decided that I should probably go to school I was trained as a massage therapist, but I should probably do my undergraduate training. So I eventually got around to that. And finished in the really riveting field and a riveting time in the Bay Area in genetics and biochemistry. And so just got really deeply entrenched in the world there. And I worked in some fantastic labs and had worked on the Human Genome Project. And
Did you?
It was amazing.
Holy hell.
So cool. I have a gene named. My name is Arwen. The gene is AR-1. It's a
AR1.
Yeah.
There's an actual human gene
Isn't
on the
that cool?
human genome named after you.
Damn.
That is about as cool as it gets.
Yeah.
What gene is it for?
It's an interleukin antagonist receptor.
I'll have to write this
Yeah,
down.
just-
Interleukin.
You know, totally.
Is that something to do with cancer?
So it has to do with the immune system.
Interleukin antagonist.
Yeah, it was very boring.
What
really,
was the next word?
Receptor.
Receptor.
Yeah. So A antagonist receptor R-1. 1 is supposed to be the 1 from interleukin 1. So it's the antagonist of the interleukin 1 receptor.
What is it? Wasn't interleukin at some point supposed to be the magic
Yeah,
silver
it's
bullet
supposed-
that was going to cure cancer or something?
Yeah. Interleukins, really, it's basically if you can suppress your immune system, you can suppress cancers, right? So
Right.
if you can suppress your immune system that is related to cancer, then you can. So it was a direct goal to stop cancers and stop certain diseases. But this one didn't pan out for anything of importance, but it was still cool.
So you're like a superstar
Yes, medical super.
in the medical world.
Thanks, yeah.
What are you doing in New Orleans? Why aren't you
I love
living in
New
Ma-
Orleans.
just
No
because
way,
of-
man. No. I mean, I moved here after medical school. I moved here to go to LSU. Loved the LSU professors that I got involved with, and then Katrina happened, and that just solidifies. Either you leave or you're stuck.
Yeah.
And I was at Charity Hospital. I didn't stay at Charity. I was not the doctor at Charity, but I was up in Central Louisiana receiving the patients that left Charity after Katrina, and it was a remarkable, traumatic, but growth and inspiring time.
Well,
And
what's your secret for looking so young after you've been through all this stress?
thank you.
What is it, really? Is it genetics or massage or...
I think it's the lifestyle.
Drugs?
It's the work-life balance. It's work-life balance, and I take a lot of supplements, and I take care of myself, and I make sure that I have an enjoyable
Do you
life. and
prescribe
lifestyle.
drugs for yourself? Are you on anything?
That is unethical to prescribe to
Is that
yourself.
right?
Yeah. So I have prescribed antibiotics to
You
myself
want
when
to
I'm
prescribe them for me, and then I can give you some back?
Bring her pad.
What have you got on you, actually?
Got nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing,
You
man.
don't travel
I don't-
around with
No,
drugs?
I don't. No,
Okay.
not at all.
Dustin, what made you decide to leave here and move to Lafayette?
Yeah.
Geez. Well, the price of the houses
Well,
went
there
up
is
here.
that.
Totally.
I had a house on St. Roch, was my second house. I like to fix up houses. And I had a house back there, went through a split up. I could have kept the house, but it was too big. And I don't know, the creative community, coming out of, I was in Williamsburg, Brooklyn back in the day, so I'm kind of used to being in gentrifying neighborhoods
Up and coming.
where artists are living, and there's a little creative pocket. I live for those things, And I didn't feel it like it was a lot of artists were moving away and were getting priced out.
By you? Around by...
Bywater, St. Roch, all that.
So the
area.
artists were moving out of
And,
there and being gentrified out.
Yeah.
But isn't that what happened in Williamsburg? The same exact
Oh,
thing?
definitely. I mean, at a much faster rate.
And, but they were 5 years ago calling the Bywater the Williamsburg of New Orleans.
Yeah.
It totally is.
Maybe you're the common factor here.
I know exactly. Everyone's following you.
Yeah.
No. I thought you were blaming me for gentrification.
Oh, goodness.
No.
My sister just got married in Williamsburg last
You did?
weekend.
Really?
She did?
Come on.
So I just came from there.
Nice.
Man, it's a different neighborhood now over there.
It is.
Well, it used to be all mostly Hasidic Jews back in the day.
They still have a
Mostly,
ton.
It still
Yeah.
is.
My
Well, I mean, not
landlords
necessarily
were
Williamsburg,
Is your
Hasidic
sister
like-
married to
like
Hasidic,
Bed-Stuy?
Hasidic Jews?
Yeah,
Your
it's
There's a
sister
lot
South
married-
of
Williamsburg.
did not think
Yeah. But it was a dump back in the day.
Williamsburg. Yeah.
Yeah, just like old warehouses. Like
Nobody
nothing
wanted
much.
to go over
No
there.
waterfront property.
Right.
That's all new stuff.
Wow.
But you got out of there.
So I got out of here because, the prices were crazy, and I was not paying. It's the wrong time to buy, for especially being an artist. Mm-hmm. You don't want to buy at the top of the market. And Lafayette, my girlfriend lives there, and we were going back and forth checking it out, and I started to like it. Prices were good, and I travel a lot with music, so I wanted my overhead to be low.
So how do you keep a relationship together while you're traveling?
Well, she plays with me.
Oh, that's Margaret is your girlfriend, Margaret Hebert.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's a good idea.
She's a classical
that works,
pianist.
Right? It's amazing.
Yeah, when I was newly single, I didn't want to look at another lady. I didn't want to even do it. I didn't want a relationship, but we just developed a good friendship.
So you met professionally as a musician?
No, at Rebecca's studio. She used to have a studio here, like a Friday afternoon salon, where Margaret would play classical piano, and we'd drink wine, and everybody would meet, like a small group of people.
Social.
Okay. So I met her like that. And
So you two guys, Arwen, you and Dustan knew each other from that?
Just from a year ago, yeah.
Because Genevieve and I were never invited to that, strangely.
Well, maybe now you will.
Well, it's kind of the cool kid club.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's how you met. So you fell in love with the piano player at the salon.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And she had no idea she can play non-classical music on the keyboard. She could play guitar and stuff and other kinds of styles.
She's incredibly talented.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you seduced her away from playing classical music?
No, I mean, she still plays classical. No. But I love classical, too.
Is she on the road with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Most
that's
of the
how
time.
they keep
Pretty.
it together.
Yeah,
That
that's how
is
we can keep it
super
together,
romantic.
It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So you have this Westphalia van. Do you still have this thing that's in those videos of yours?
So that's all part, I'm going to condense this down.
romantic.
So you signed to a major label, you think that you made it, all right? I made decent money. You got songs in film and stuff, but the industry was tanking, as we know it, Yeah. So I moved back to New Orleans and moved into the neighborhood, wanted a creative community, and that's what I was doing, restoring a house, making a record, and but I didn't know how to get back into being a musician or what the business was like because I had already had the major deals.
So you turned your back on the major.
I did. I didn't know how I
Records.
fit into it because I felt like an idiot being marketed. I hated it. It was terrible.
What were they marketing you as?
Everything was like New Orleans, Cajun, Williamsburg, hipster. It was all.
So you're being marketed as a sort of a hipster singer-songwriter
from Grand Point, Louisiana. So avant-garde country, not country, but guy from the
Bayou.
country.
Yeah,
Bayou. Yeah, it was so cliche, man.
It is.
Tell us how that worked. Did you have meetings where they would discuss this with you?
Dude, I would go up to the 27th floor and fight for my life of the Atlantic Records building. I would get up there, and the problem was, from the guy at the front desk to everybody, the guy you're going to meet, everybody's like,
Trying to get you to
looking at you like that.
Yeah, great. Well, you're the star.
Yeah, they're looking at you like you're going to be some,
Right.
like they're not looking at you like a person,
Right,
So
you're a
that was
number.
hard, man.
Well, they're dependent
That
on
was
you
hard
because you're the
for,
person who's going to make them all a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, they had a bunch of other ones making them money.
Yeah, but they need them all. So, but with these meetings where they would sit down, would they talk to you about this is what we're going to do? We're going to sell you as
they would have
ABC.
posters already made, and they would have them on the wall, presenting them to me, and I
Most
would
people
just
would love that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think that's the ego sort of
You
thing?
think you want that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, when I moved from the country to New York, like if you told me I could have been a star or something when I was younger, yeah. But when you actually handed it and you see what you have to give up, it's especially if you're an artist.
I'm not
if you're not an artist,
I'm
it
not
might
the
be easy.
psychiatrist here,
Right, but that's
know
what
what?
I was talking about. Like the creative mind, the person that has that. Like you want to be able to be creative and not be told what to do and not be told how you're supposed to present yourself. I don't understand how marketers are. We'll talk to Genevieve about this, but how marketers are able to just tell you as an artist what you're going to do. I mean, obviously they know what the niche is and where they're going to make the money.
Yeah.
But then it sucks your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
not fair.
you want to be able to go to a cafe. You want to be able to, as a writer, you want to be able to be in society.
Well, I think fame
what I
is
mean?
one of the
Yeah.
worst things that could happen to
It's
anybody.
the worst.
is you
Yeah.
can't-
I was so
you're
scared.
in prison.
I never knew it was coming. But
Right.
maybe you could tell me about it. I didn't know it was coming, but I was so afraid to lose my privacy.
Sure.
So you're smart enough to have got out of that before it all went wrong.
Yeah, and the money wasn't that great at that time,
Yeah.
It was a small deal. But the van. So
yes.
7 years of not playing. I'm living in New Orleans, and it was either.
So you quit the music business.
Well, I kept making records and was selling songs to film. So it was a good way. Good way to sell a few a year. Right. You can make good money. But I was either stop after 7 years, stop making records, or share the shit. Like get out there and get over the privacy thing, get over the introvert thing. Therapy helped me out a lot. It helped me to let certain stupid things go.
Right.
And I had people emailing me for years from my first record that I released on Atlantic, and it won't stop getting out there. And beautiful messages, and that gave me the courage to start really small as a small business. Not superstar crap, like sustainable business, a lot like Propeller and these smaller companies. And I took that along with all the social media stuff that was coming out and said, I can build a small business and I can control this damn thing. I'm not giving it up this time.
So you started again doing it your own way.
The van allows me to travel cheaply, connect with different communities, and now we do small, beautiful shows all over across the country. So.
Are you doing like people's like living room shows
living
too?
rooms,
Weren't you doing
like
that?
barns, it's really
Awesome.
cool spaces, abandoned buildings,
and you're making a
I feel
living.
like that's a trend right now.
It's happening.
How the rage,
Yeah, concerts.
It's happening.
My uncle flew somebody in for one.
Yeah, I do it. Yeah.
Hey, what about playing us another song?
Sure.
Yeah, good segue.
We have to get out of here. Okay. And then I want to just talk about opioid addiction.
Oh yeah.
Because we have
heard of that.
There's a
a
crisis.
world expert in opioid addiction right here who wrote the book on it.
Yeah.
So it would be good to know something about that before we get out of here, don't you think, Jill?
Yeah. As I'm sitting here, I'm realizing we're all entrepreneurs.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that great? Yeah. That's really
in
cool.
our own right.
That's a sort of a post Brooklyn word as well, isn't it? Did we ever have entrepreneurs 10 years ago?
I mean, technically, yes.
Yes, but
the word probably.
But I think the catchphrase social entrepreneur maybe not so much.
right.
Yeah.
It seems like we've invented this whole sort of. People used to go into business. I was saying before, but now we're entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's much more. It sounds much more. Business used to be a dirty word back when your dad was a massage therapist and your dad was an admiral. Your grandfather was an admiral in the military.
But my father opened his own law practice, so he's a lawyer, but he's also an entrepreneur. He's a solopreneur.
Right.
It's his own practice.
Oh, he has his own standalone one-man
it's just
practice in
him.
Canada. That's interesting too. That must be hard to
over
sustain.
30 years.
30 years.
He's probably in his best year of practice this year.
Wow.
He must be pretty good. So you have to do all kinds of law, I guess, if you're that. You can't specialize.
He specializes just in like general practice.
Specializes in general practice. That sounds like a bit of
sorry. Okay. Auto accidents and personal injury. There you go. That's his specialty.
Personal injury. So one call, that's all type.
Very much so.
Does he have a slogan
Glorified ambulance chaser.
Put the Douglass... Oh, what's his...
He wants a slogan so badly.
Let's come up with one.
So his last name is Guest.
Guest, that's right.
Be our
Guest.
guest.
Be
So
our
we've had
guest.
lots of slogans.
Well, all these other guys have these catchphrases that they work by repetition, basically.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter which...
Go with Guest. And forget the rest.
That's a good one,
You
Thomas.
got it already.
That's a good one.
Thomas did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go with Guest and forget the rest.
2018.
Yeah.
We'll have to give him royalty.
Okay.
All right, Dustin, what do you have for us?
Justin,
So, living in the Bywater, Lou Reed died on 10/27/13. Yeah. So, my second gentrifying neighborhood I'm living in, I'm just like kind of getting over it, Just everybody's so damn cool. But that day I was walking around with my earbuds in, listening to Velvet Underground. Everybody for that one day was kind of cool. So this is a song like hopping in bars and like people watching. So different characters around town. So.
I wanna be Johnny D. What's in the bar? Miss 15 minutes. What's in the bar? Her face is on the cover. Walks into the bar. A princess and a papa at the bar. Yeah. What's in the bar? I'm saving all my love for y'all. What's in the bar? We don't wanna bother. What's into the bar? With another lover. What's in the bar? Champagne the mood, moon and the star. Wanna be secret till the end of the world. He was a 10, she was a 10. 10, 27, 13.
Short version.
10, 27, 13. Okay, so now we've got a bit of a pattern going on here.
Yeah.
We've got 10, 27, 13, which was the day that Lou Reed died. 3. And then we have AR1,
Yeah.
which is the interluken antagonist receptor.
Right.
which
And we
is-
don't have a number for me.
We need to come up with a number for you. What's come up with a number for you? What will it be? What's
My
your
birthday?
What is your birthday?
12/6/82.
12/6/82. 12 and 6 is 18.
We're born in the same week.
We were?
Yeah, you and me. I'm 11/30/82.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay.
coming
That's working out.
right around the corner.
Yeah. That is
Sagittarius unite.
interesting. Sagittarius. What is that? What sign is that? What is the symbol?
The Sagittarius is the Sagittarius sign. Actually.
It's
What
like
is
the
it?
man with the horse body.
No, the
Oh, that's what it is. Oh,
the
it's a
symbol
symbol.
for it is actually the arrow.
Oh.
It's an,
But
it's
it
an,
is
Go
the
to him
centaur.
on that.
It is the centaur.
okay, so listen, look at what in my hand. I have a book called Hooked,
Yes.
which is by Dr. Arwen Podesta, which is a concise guide to the underlying mechanics of addiction and treatment for patients, families, and providers, which is probably the hottest topic in the country.
Yes, it is.
Opioid addiction. Drugs used to be a lot of fun, and now drugs
Yeah.
just kill people.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. You've heard about it, I'm sure. It's all over the news. I mean,
What-
it's really insane what we're seeing. And I'm medical director at a place that is doing great outpatient work, and it's called ACER, Addiction Counseling Education Resources.
ACER?
And we
Like the
specialize with,
computer.
we specialize with all sorts of addiction, but we're seeing more and more opioids, and we've taken on a new specialty in the past 5 years where we're working with pregnant women with addiction, because that's another area. I know, right? Like, these women don't get to go to Zuka Baby and to Kindred, they're just barely be able to maintain their own life and lifestyle, and unfortunately they're hooked on mostly opioids at this point. And yeah, it is. And so we're trying to change the generations, and we have really good success.
Is it true that more people are dying in New Orleans from opioid addiction than from homicide?
Man, Dr. Rouse gave us that soundbite 2 years ago, and it has stuck. But
Is
it
it
is
true
true.
or- it's true?
It is true.
Okay, that's amazing.
And part of that is because we have decrease of the other of homicides, which is great. But part of that is the increase of opioids, and part of the problem is not just opioid pain pills; it's the shit that they're putting in them that includes the fentanyl and carfentanil and
Who's putting in them? I thought you got
the
this from a
dealers.
doctor.
No. A lot of the pain pills that are out there on the street are actually pressed in China and sent.
Really?
Yeah,
I see. So
and
this
so.
quote unquote opioids, these aren't the pills that
So
I get.
they
and
are,
prescribed.
but you can look in your neighbor's, medicine cabinet, and they probably have some Vicodin and Percocet that you might want to just put your hand in the cabinet and borrow for a minute. But that's where a lot of people get hooked. Yeah, a lot of people
If you
start
want
there, but then the
fine.
street drugs. We used to have a lot of street drugs available. It's drying up because of the restrictions that the DEA has put, which I think is a very valuable thing. So we have less. I can't prescribe nearly as much as I could have. I never prescribed opioids, but I could
Hang on,
have.
just wait up for 1 second. Because
yeah.
I thought the
So
whole
many things.
problem was
Overprescribing.
overprescribing.
Yes. From 1991 until about 5 years ago, the overprescribing was rampant and crazy, and that's
Okay.
where the majority of them came from. And then We've pulled back on that. People are doing, we've got a drug take-back day where people are depositing their old medications so that they're not getting into the hands of people on the street or of people that are searching through their mom's medicine cabinet.
Drug take-back day.
Yeah, you can drop them off at Walgreens. Like they have almost like a mailbox type of thing that's a secure mailbox for putting the drugs in, putting old medications, unused medications, not just opioids, but antibiotics, other things that maybe you didn't follow through and take. Anyway, so try and wrap it up quickly, the problem stemmed from that. But we've had, before we had prescription pain pills, we've had other peaks and falls of opioid crisis. It's just what we're doing right now with addiction.
People keep on saying the same thing, though, that these opioids are 50 times stronger than heroin.
Yes. So the carfentanil and fentanyl is 50 to 1,000 times stronger than heroin, which is why when you get a hot shot, when you get 1 grain of fentanyl in your pill or in your heroin, you're dead. So that's where the problem lies. When you get...
Genevieve, I told you to quit doing it.
I know someone that passed away from bad heroin.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Bad heroin.
And it's not just in the heroin. I'm sorry to hear that. That's awful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I know. I mean, we all know somebody that
why is somebody putting this in heroin?
It also causes addiction much quicker, right? So you can, if you're a cartel person that's looking at money, and you lose a couple of buyers. Not a big deal because you're turning on so many more that are getting hooked quicker.
So these kids who are coming up today, you wouldn't really want to start doing drugs.
God, no. I know.
At all.
No. It's scary. It's scary out there.
What a thing to have to trade drugs for Snapchat.
Yeah. Right?
That sucks, doesn't it?
Right?
You know? You have to... That's it. We've got to get out of here. But that really is crazy. So So you wrote the book called Hooked. I guess the point of reading the book is to learn how to get off of this
it's also how to support people that are in your life that have addiction, or if you're a new nurse or doctor in the field of addiction or a new counselor, it really just give a biological background and then kind of demystify what the hell is this addiction treatment? Because if you go online and you look up addiction treatment, up until recently when Google and Facebook just stopped doing unchecked treatment centers, it's basically like whoever has the most money and whoever has the most marketing, whether it's a valid and an evidence-based treatment center or not. It was kind of a hedge fund model. And so I would try and demystify that in this book as well.
And how can people get this book?
It's on Amazon. It's called Hooked, but not hooked on phonics. Hooked. Okay. Arwen Podesta.
And Arwen is spelled Arwen. And we have a link to it on our website as well.
Super.
And we can keep the happy hour going. People can come out tonight to Eiffel Society to support the Arts Council New Orleans and Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra. With happy hour prices all night long, and they go to the organization.
And this is the Eiffel Tower you're talking about?
The Eiffel Society at the corner of Josephine and St. Charles Ave.
Right.
Which is
tonight, 6 to 8.
That's the original Eiffel
the Eiffel
topping.
Tower
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be looking at this on Facebook Live to get this, because most people listen to this as a podcast.
Right.
Some days, weeks, months, or even years later.
That's okay. Okay,
but
Wednesday,
if they do,
October 24th.
Yeah, but if they do, they can either go to Trepwise and find out more about
on our Facebook page.
And you as well. Hey, before we get out of here, let me just tell you thank you to Basics Swim and Gym, where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style.
I love Basics.
You love Basics.
I shop there.
You do? They're on, they're on Magazine Street.
Yep, and my gym stuff from there.
All right. Well, thanks.
They're local and female owned.
Yeah, they are. Absolutely right.
This
They're
is great for the local economy.
On Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. Yeah.
Nice.
Why I joined Trepwise.
Here's something you need to know about Arwen. It's a product called Hangover Destroyer.
Hey now.
It's the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. When I say medically proven, you're a doctor, so you can attest.
It's like natural. But
Take a look. Go to hdestroyer.com. hdestroyer.com is a website where you can write happy hour on the coupon code and get 30% off of your first order of Hangover Destroyer. And thank you to the Positive Vibrations Foundation, who create and encourage community through the development and preservation of the arts, music, culture, and heritage. And thank you to everybody at our Patreon family. If you'd like to be a part of our Patreon family, go to patreon.com and look for It's New Orleans Happy Hour. And for as little as $1 a month, you too can be... What are you doing? Taking a photo of Siroc's shoes here? Okay. You can be a member of our Patreon family and get a whole bunch of free stuff. Andrew Duhon is not here today, but you can find his new album, False River, on Spotify and everywhere else on the internet where you steal music, or you could buy it from his website, andrewduhon.com. And he will be back here, in fact, next week for Happy Hour, which will be also on Halloween. What are you guys doing for Halloween?
I have no good plan.
I'm working.
Do you have kids?
I have 2 small children, so I have
How
no
old
good
are they?
plans. 4 and 2.
Well, they love candy.
They do.
Are they allowed to
the
eat
oldest
it?
one.
During
the little one doesn't really know what it is.
Not yet.
What are you doing, when you're working?
Working in Baton Rouge. We're opening the new ACER intensive outpatient program next week, and so I'll be seeing patients in Baton Rouge.
Wow, okay. So you're everywhere.
Yeah.
Are you playing a show? What are you doing?
Getting ready to leave for tour.
Yeah.
Nice.
None
A
of us are
2-week
doing
tour.
anything exciting for
Okay.
Halloween.
And
Are you doing something exciting?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be here, actually.
Uh-huh.
It's a week from today, so we're going to be here.
Oh,
Andrew
right.
Duhon will be here, and I don't know what
You'll
the
go
hell we're
party
going to be doing.
after.
I guess I'll have to come up with an
Where are you
outfit.
touring?
Just Florida. Just a
Florida.
quick one, like a 2-week tour.
Nice.
Nothing long.
And we can find you at Luke.
Dustan Louque, DUSTANLOUQUE.com.
Okay. And what else do I need to know here?
It's just his website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a link to it on our website. It's
thank
neworleans.com
you.
as well.
Appreciate it.
And otherwise, we can just Google you, Dustan Louque, DUSTAN. So both names are difficult. LOU.
Yeah.
Difficult.
I'm surprised they
Mine
didn't
are more
make you
difficult
change
than
that for some
That's
sort
why
of...
nobody knows me. I can't
But
find
I-
Can't find
when they were making you into somebody else, didn't they suggest you change your name to something like
No.
A stage name?
Dustin
Have you
Trepwise?
ever had a stage name?
It never came up.
No?
No, I never had a stage name.
Okay. All right. Well, you
for
escaped
fun.
that one.
I did.
Well, Dustan Louque, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
thanks
us.
for
It's
having
been
me.
great to meet you.
It's really
and
cool to
Arwen
meet you.
Podesta, it's
Yeah.
great to meet you after
Great
all these
to
years.
meet
I've
you.
seen
I
your
know,
name all
exactly.
over Facebook and
Yeah.
everywhere around town for years. So it's great. I thought you were a guy for years, actually.
It's a confusing
Most
name,
people think
you know.
that?
Yeah.
It's an unusual.
Arwen.
Where does Arwen come from?
It's from my parents. I call them hippie literati. It's from the Lord of the Rings.
Is it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So it would
did
be.
you know that,
I did
Genevieve?
know that.
Ah.
And my youngest is Arden.
Oh, great!
So
yes.
just substitute your W for a D.
Yes,
and that's
perfect.
her name.
Nice, I love it. Yeah, and she'll get Mister when she's,
Probably.
it's just
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
world. It's no big
But
deal.
I love your name.
Thank you. I love
It's good to
Arden,
keep
too.
people, throw them off. Though.
That's right,
Don't you think?
absolutely.
Change.
Yeah, sometimes I'll attach a little thumbnail picture on my signature line when people are continuously conversing with me as Mister.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think it's an advantage to have people have the wrong idea about you constantly, though.
I purposely did gender-neutral names for my girls.
You did.
I like it.
What
What's
are they
the
called?
other one?
Arden and...
Avery. I mean, that's more girly now, but
Is
it's
it?
technically...
It used to be male.
It's
Mhm.
technically
Yeah, I wouldn't have
either.
known. That's cool.
Yeah.
And your
so
husband
then
was
that way,
cool
when
with
their
that?
resume comes across the table, they
Right,
won't
you
assume
don't
it's a
know.
girl.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Smart.
Good thinking. Genevieve Douglass, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having
Awesome.
us.
It's great to meet you too after seeing your name on emails
After a long
for
time.
years and years and years. Well, thanks, everybody. That's Happy Hour for another week. Graham DePonte is the producer of our show, and our music producers are Christian Unruh and Monique Pyle. Thomas Walsh is our technical director. Asher Griffith is our Facebook live feed director. And when I say live, I hope he is still alive. Yes, he looks a lot better, actually, over there. Andrew Searock is our fact checker and social media connector, and our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about an hour while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website. It's neworleans.com. We can check out many other hours of Happy Hour that we've recorded previously, as well as some other shows we make around here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti from Commander's Palace, Louisiana Eats, with Poppy Talker, and our award-winning podcast about death called Death the Podcast. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on a bunch of time-sucking social media on all of what we're called It's New Orleans, including Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our It's New Orleans Facebook page. These photos were taken today by Jill Lafleur. You can find more of Jill's photos at lafleurphoto.com. If you listen to this on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That helps other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Freret Street, Uptown New Orleans. Happy Hours of production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, who's on the road somewhere, you can find him at andrewduhon.com and back here next week. And everyone else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for our special Halloween version of Happy Hour. See you then.